What's up? I'm Troubleshoot. I've done quite a few different videos about modding Hytale, creating servers, and even more, but one of the major things that I've stepped over, which is a huge part of the modding community, is if we flick over to CurseForge, under the Browse tab, you'll see we have mods, prefabs, worlds, bootstrap, and translations. I've done a ton about installing and using mods, but absolutely nothing about prefabs. So, what are prefabs? Well, prefabs are basically just pre-made houses, dungeons, castles, etc. that other people have made, and they've published them for you to import it to your own world. Now, while of course this is pretty cool, prefabs also allow something else. If you're familiar with modding Minecraft or working on servers, you've likely heard of schematics and lightmatics, which are basically just pre-made prefabs for Minecraft of houses, buildings, skyblocks, etc. And of course, you can actually import them into Hytale using online tools like hytale-converter.com. You just upload your schematic or lightmatic file here, and it converts it into a prefab file, which you can use to directly just import Minecraft builds into Hytale. If you want to see how to do that, do let me know down below. There's also a few different mods which can accomplish something like this in-game, but this video is going to focus on how to actually use prefabs in Hytale. But before we begin, if you're looking for a Hytale or other game host, I'd highly recommend you check out Apex Hosting. Not only do they offer powerful hardware, but you can get servers with unlimited slots, 24/7 support, automated backups, and so much more by default. If you're looking for a no-hassle server setup, no port forwarding, nothing like that, a server running 24/7 for you and your friends to play on, click the first link in the description down below to be taken across to Apex Hosting's page. At the very top, you'll see the current coupon code, which right now is APEX25 for 25% off your first order. But, quick tip, you can use code Hytale40 for 40% off your Hytale server order. So when you're ready to begin, just click Get Your Server, choose your server's size and power, make sure you're using code Hytale40, and in no time you'll have a powerful dedicated server for you and your friends to play on. A huge shout out to Apex Hosting for sponsoring this guide. So, prefabs. Let's speak about where to actually install them. If we head across here and download, say, HiTiny's Cozy Prefabs, we'll of course see what we're downloading, and we can choose Download here. Unlike mods, you can't use the CurseForge launcher to download and install these. These need to be done manually. Once you download these, you'll usually end up with a zip file or a prefab file. What you need to do is, on Windows, hold the Windows key and press R at the same time to bring up the Run dialog. Head across to %app.%/Hytale and hit OK. This will take you into C uses your username app.roaming Hytale, where we've got all of the game's install files, our saved worlds, etc. Just keep in mind on other OSs, the folder is slightly different. You'll see Linux is this path here, and macOS, you'll find Hytale inside of the home folder application support. Either ways, when you make your way into Hytale's base folder, head into the user data folder, where you'll find your mods, saves, and a folder called Prefab Cache. We'll need to go into the Saves folder, followed by the world you'd like to actually use these prefabs on. They're on a world-by-world basis, so find the name of the world you're currently playing on and open it up here. You can also sort by date modified if you're not sure. Then, inside of your world save folder, you'll see logs, mods, universe, and a couple of other files. Right-click and choose New followed by Folder, or hit Ctrl-Shift and N at the same time to make a new folder. Call this folder Prefabs, as such, plural, hit Enter, and Enter once more to open it. Inside of here, we can actually place our prefab files. So, move the file from your downloads into here, and as you can see, we downloaded a zip. If yours is a compressed archive like a zip, you'll need to open it and actually extract the files within. So, there we go. Now we're able to close the zip and delete it. While you can choose right-click and extract all, you might have two folders to open before you actually get to your prefab files, so this way it's just a little bit easier later on. Over here, I've loaded into a fresh world, and all we need to do is make sure we're in creative mode. If you're not already, use /op/self to give yourself operator so we can use commands, and then use the command /gm/c to change our game mode to creative, and to go back to adventure, use /gm/a. There's also a key hotkey for this, but I don't remember what it is right now. Either ways, inside of creative mode, open up your inventory, and on the last tab at the very top, you'll see a bunch of different creative mode tools. What we want to grab is the paste tool, as this allows us to place prefabs. Then at the very top, head across to the creative tools section, hotkey B, and under the world tab, you'll find the prefab list over here. Heading back to creative tools, world, prefab list, at the very top where it says assets, expand this and change it to server. Assets will only show you built-in default Hytale constructions like different caves, things like that. If we grab, say, rock formations and this one, you'll see that we can place this in our world now. But that's not what we want. We'll change it from assets at the very top to server, and now we can see the different folders inside of that folder we made earlier. Opening up this one, we can choose a prefab here. I'll say the witch hut, and as you can see, we've got a witch hut here to place down. Now, usually you'll be flying around for this, and you'll try and find a place to put it in your world, but it might not always fit or go exactly where you want it to go. There's a couple of important hotkeys you'll need to know. First of all, use the R key to rotate it as such, and of course, Shift R to rotate on a different axis, flipping it sideways, upside down, and all the way back. You can also use Alt R to rotate around the other axis, flipping it in a different way, so you can get some really creative combinations for turning things around. It gives you great control. You'll also see T toggles the textures of blocks if you'd like to see a ghost wireframe of where you're going to be building, and as you can see, the final option on the sidebar is Q to cycle the origin. This says where we're placing it from. The first one is anchor, and that's wherever the prefab says it is. Pressing it, it changes it to the bottom mode, where the bottom of whatever we're placing goes exactly where our cursor is aiming. Pressing it again, it goes to the center, and again moves it to the top. Of course, I'll just leave it on anchor here. This one still isn't exactly where we want it. Changing to the next page, you'll see some more in-depth controls like using the arrow keys to shift it around block by block, page up and page down to move it up and down so we can very easily place it properly inside of our world, and of course, Shift followed by the arrow keys to rotate it, as well as Alt to rotate it in the same way as we did earlier if you'd prefer to use your arrow keys. Just by moving around with your keyboard, you can very easily find a place you'd want to put it, and as soon as things look good, just right-click to place it in the world. There's also an option to, as you can see over here, Shift right-click, which if we do that, leaves it in the current position in the world so we can look around instead of moving it with our cursor, which we can unlock just by Shift right-clicking again, allowing us to place it using the arrow keys and other options while freely looking and moving around to get it placed really accurately. Anyways, once you've placed it in your world, you should be able to explore it like any other structure. We can walk up to it and interact like any other building, blocks, etc. Use the tables, chairs, everything like that, exactly as the author intended. Now, usually the insides of buildings won't have air blocks defined per se, so if we grab the tool and we try to place it, say, inside of a mountain like this, pushing it back, maybe down here, placing it, you'll see that when we actually approach it to enter it, the inside of the building is actually just a giant wall. Usually air blocks are not included in this process, so you'll usually have things like this if you place it inaccurately. So just keep that in mind, you will need to clear some space for these things to go in. That being said, if you go ahead and click again by accident, how exactly do you undo this? Well, don't start by smacking it. You can just use /undo in chat, and that should undo anything you placed previously. Just like that, we can very easily undo multiple times, and of course /redo, we can bring them back if we went too far. Very simply, we can manage different prefabs in our world this way. That's it. That's basically everything you need to know about prefabs, except of course, how exactly do you install these and use these on a server? Well, if you've got a Hytale server on your computer like I do here, all you need to do is, next to the mods folder, make a new folder called Prefabs, and inside of here we can place our prefabs as we did previously. If you're using a cloud provider like Apex Hosting, simply log into your panel and open up your server. Inside of your server, you'll need to navigate across to Files or something along those lines. In Apex Hosting's case, we need to head into the FTP file access area. We then need to press Login, and it'll show us all the different files and folders on our server. Inside of here, we'll need to right-click the default folder here, New Folder, and we'll call it Prefabs as such. Create the folder, and now, inside of it, all we need to do is upload our files here. Simply open up your downloads and drag the zip file into the Prefabs folder here. It'll start uploading, and of course, on a panel like this, you can also upload individual files, multiple files, and even folders. Then we need to right-click our zip and choose Extract here. This extracts the folder and of course creates another folder, which inside has all of our different prefabs. I'll make this a bit bigger. What we need to do now is just remove the leftover zip. So I'll delete it here. There we go. And that's it. Do you need to restart your server after you change a prefab? Well, no, actually. Unlike mods, this isn't required. So, even in the normal single-player game / if you're using the online play option to play with your friends, just by finding a new thing to download, like let's say Gothic Cathedral, I can go ahead and place it in our prefabs folder and choose right-click, 7-zip if you have it, extract here. Otherwise, I would choose to open it and extract it as such. We can then delete the leftover zip and inside of our game immediately without us even having to reconnect prefab list, change it to server. There you go. There's our brand new cathedral. I can click it, and as this is a big thing, this is going to be rather laggy to place. I don't know if I've got it sideways here, but either way is placing it down. There you go. You can see a massive cathedral. Now, something I wouldn't recommend is enabling the texture mode using the T button, as usually massive structures like this need to be placed in this wireframe mode. Otherwise, it could just crash your game instantly, especially if there's thousands and thousands of blocks like there are here. So just keep that in mind. And of course, there you go. This thing looks fantastic. Now, something else to note is a shortcut to getting to the Creative Tools World Prefab list. You can actually just give yourself the Paste tool and hit E to open up the prefabs list, so you can very easily place multiple prefabs at one time. That's it. You will also notice under Creative Tools World, we've got Prefab Editor. What we can do in here is choose Browse, navigate into Server, and we can choose a folder like this one here, Confirm, allowing us to view some things from this particular folder. We'll choose Load here, and as you can see, we're dropped into a world with all the different prefabs laid out in front of us. We've also got access to a Prefab Selector tool, which allows us to, in the Prefab Editor, select entire prefabs just by left-clicking them. Once you choose, say, a prefab like this, we can interact with it using different keys. E allows us to customize the name, things like that. And another key is R to update the prefab's bounding box. This basically means we can use the selection tool to adjust how this thing is actually placed. You'll see there's different blue sections which we can actually grab and either expand or drag inwards to select more or less of a prefab. So for example, if we build a big tower over here as such, what we can do is use the selection tool to move this back one block, and when we do, you can see we've included this. We'll then use the prefab selector tool, hit R, and it updates to our current selection. We can then E followed by Save to save our changes. The last key we can use with this tool is T to teleport around between different prefabs if you don't know what they're called. Now that we've edited this one over here, which is the Hytale's barn, what we can do now to get back is use the command /edit prefab, which gives us a couple of options like save, etc. The one that we want is /edit prefab /exit, and this should drop us back into our regular world. If there's any unsaved changes, you can save them here as such, and we can use the same command to get back. Once we get back to our world, we can now use the Paste tool, E, Server Assets, Hinty's Cozy, and we edited the Hinty's Barn. When we go to places, you can already see that there's our big tower at the front. Right-clicking, bam, there you go. Our tower has placed as you would hope. Now you know how to actually import and of course use prefabs as well as some very basic prefab editing. If you'd like to see a deeper dive into this, do let me know down below, but that's really it for this relatively quick crash course. A huge shout out to Apex Hosting for sponsoring this guide. Thank you for watching. My name's been Troubleshoot, and I'll see you all next time. Ciao.